Hi everyone, Gavin from Tour Skills, business coaching with a difference. In our Facebook group, we get asked questions all the time. And one of the ones that keeps coming up is how do small businesses deal with cash flow? And it's one I've struggled with. I've been there where I've run out of money. I've been in business where cash flow has been tight. And I thought I'd share with you some of the things that I went through and how I had to work to improve the cash flow and some of the solutions that I found. So, firstly, planning. You have to spend time thinking about your cash and thinking ahead. When will I need to pay certain things? We all know when our tax bills are due. We all know when our VAT bills are due. The problem we have is we use that money as working capital. We need to find mechanisms that allow us to save for those known events. So when we had our florist shop, above the shop we had a flat. That flat generated a rental income. I never put that rental income into the business as cash. It always went into a separate account because I knew I had the VAT bill and I had the tax bill to pay. So even when we were staring down the barrel of a £15,000 overdraft limit, that cash was secured. I didn't touch it. I left it there because I knew I had to pay. Other things to think about. Process. We do work. What's our process for invoicing our clients? They know they've got to pay. I know companies that do work, say today, and they might not invoice a company for 3, 4, 5 months. That's criminal when you're trying to manage your cash. If you're working business to business and you're invoicing people, do the work, invoice it, and have a process to chase those invoices. So have a process that says, that invoice has now been outstanding. I'm now going to contact that person and get it back. And don't be afraid to do it. They owe you money. Don't be frightened of picking up the phone. You can be nice and still chase your debts. So don't put it off. Do it. Number 3, we're all guilty of this. We spend money. What we don't always do is really analyse why we spend that money. We get money in and we look at our bank balance and we say, look, that's great. I've got a load of money. I'm going to go and buy a new computer. I'm going to go and buy that bit of software. I'm going to upgrade my camera because I think it's going to make better quality videos. If you're planning and you're looking ahead, you might realise you can't do it. The money's not there. You need to build cash in your business. So before you ever spend any penny in a business, think about how much turnover do I have to generate to make enough profit to pay for that product. So if you've got a business that, I don't know, say you turn over £1,000, you make £100 net profit. If you're going to go and spend £100 on a new piece of kit, you've got to turn over £1,000. So will that new bit of kit, will that new bit of software generate you £1,000? Because it's not 100. People get confused. They think it's about the £100. It's not. It's about the £1,000. So think about that. Number 4. Another big problem with cash flow is we put our head in our sand and we don't recognise it's a problem. We try to ignore it. We hope it will go away. It won't. When we were in our difficult times and when we were looking at it, we had a tough weekend. It was emotionally draining, but we had to face into all of those issues and come up with a plan to get us out of it. And that plan wasn't easy to implement. For us, it meant remortgaging. It meant increasing some debt in certain areas to try to pay off and reduce our interest rates on others. It meant going without lots of things. It meant cancelling the old golf club membership. All that had to go in order to sort out our cash flow. It's not easy, but sometimes you've got to do it. Number 5, the pennies matter. It's an old saying, but look after the pennies. If you look after the pennies, it is true the pounds will look after themselves. So think about every single penny. You know, if you're going to go to a client meeting and it's 10 miles down the road, do you need to drive? Could you do it by Skype? Would a phone call do? Would an email do? Because if you can save a couple of pence on diesel, it will all add up and it will improve your cash flow. So challenge everything, but look after the pennies. And the final thing I would say in terms of helping with your cash flow is constantly review. I had a great example this morning where I noticed $59 just left my bank account. I thought, what on earth is that? Last year, I signed up for some software to help me create a podcast. I still haven't got the podcast live, but it was on an auto renew. And I missed it. I didn't see that that was coming up. So now I have software for another year. So it's giving me motivation to get the podcast going. But if I'm not reviewing everything all of the time, little things like that can slip through. And before you know it, that adds up to a few £100s. So when you're doing your accounts, when you're looking at your bank statements, look through and ask yourself every month, do I still need to be spending that? And maybe with these few tips, you can improve your cash flow. Be interested in your thoughts. If you've got any comments or any other top tips, please share them below in the comments. Thanks, everyone.